He is president-elect of the International Pediatric Association for the year 21 and 23, and secretary of Child Health Foundation. He's currently a member of the COVID-19 Vaccine Immunization Task Force member in Gujarat government as well, and multiple other vaccine expert committees. He is the former president of Asia Pacific Pediatric Association as well, and he is listed amongst the top influencers of the fight against polio as well. He has been awarded some prestigious award, including the Outstanding Asian Pediatrician Award for 2012, and tremendous work with Rotary. Dr. Thakur, glad to have you here. We look forward to your presentation.
One small correction, I think his term as international president has already started. Maybe we will just have to move him.
I see.
CV is little.
No, it's still president-elect.
Yes, still president. Maybe I'm wrong. Correct. Okay.
Great.
So, may I go ahead? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So I think I thank you so much for giving this invitation and to meet many of the colleagues after a long time. The question which was given to me, that how we can address the vaccine hesitancy in India. So let me start by saying that we are fortunate in India that we do not have many organized anti-vax movements like Europe and US, but people have genuine concerns. All those who are not receiving vaccine are not anti-vax, and we should never call them anti-vax or anti-national or whatever. If their concerns are addressed, they are really willing to take the vaccine. And as I always say, we have done excellent job in preparation, all the preparation, very successfully, logistic, even the mock drill, dry run, e-portal, everything. But only one thing we missed, and which was reading the people's mind. What is happening inside their mind, we could not judge and we could not take action, and that's why we are delayed. As Chandrakant said, that we are lagging behind, and as I have said in past, we have taken a lot of mid-course corrections, and we are now really doing well, except addressing some of the issues. So we all know that people don't take decision based on just information. They take decision based what they are feeling, what are their perception, their values, and we have to take all that into the account. So what are their concern? I did a quick survey because I was knowing what was happening few weeks before, but I did a quick survey from the program managers. We have a very strong groups and forum where we have from across the India, and it is coming out again that safety and efficacy concerns are still prime. That's the main concern. Fear of AFI and death after vaccination, and this rumor, this misconception has reached to the rural area. Frequent news of the people getting COVID even after 2 doses, and we could have not from very beginning. The media and everyone and all the vaccine company also concentrated on the vaccine efficacy for the symptomatic disease. We started in saying that you have almost 100% efficacy against severe disease, death and hospitalization. That we could have done from beginning, and we should have told them it is likely that you may get a disease, but it is very, very likely that you may not get serious. Now the people have efficacy against the new, doubts about efficacy against the new variants. Another main reason is that in rural, particularly in rural area, that they have very low risk perception related to COVID-19 disease. That it's the disease of the urban population, not us. Why we will get COVID? And the most harm is done by the infodemic, misinformation. We live in a very small world. Whatever happens in any part of the world, news travels in real time and affect us. Moreover, any information, particularly disinformation and misinformation, also mutate like the virus. By the time it starts something and it reaches to the community, it is totally mutated information, which does a lot of harm. So what are these common myths we all know about the sterility? It is a Western plot to make sterile the word, kill the word. It's a useless vaccine. a vaccine can cause COVID, your immunity goes down, menstruating women should not take it, not and changing recommendation for pregnant and lactating women. So these are the examples of some of the misinformation, but it also varies from place to place. Another thing is lack of the we had an excellent trust when we started the dealing with the COVID. At one call of Prime Minister, whole of the India shut down. But not our fault, but the whatever vaccine trials reports were coming, and there was ever-changing guidelines and results of ongoing vaccine trial, which was again there is again a fourth or fifth phase of the trial, which is media trial or social media trial of every vaccine, which was not happening before, has really done a lot of damage. And with some countries choosing to stop the vaccine what we are using, and then they start again, but the damage is done, and it is now well-known fact that has really done the damage. And finally, in concern, I will say we should not always take it as a vaccine hesitancy. There are issues of accessibility, repeated visits due to the non-availability of vaccine. At present, we have a lot of vaccine eagerness in the younger group. And again, the mainly available in government sector, rural areas, we have to admit there is a digital divide, and they still have problem with the connectivity. So what can we do? I will just list, and it's nothing is being done, but what can we do better? So first principle of risk communication and community engagement is honest and transparent communication and two-way communication. First, we have to listen to the community, their concern, their fear, their anxiety. That is what we did during the polio campaign. My whole lifetime work has been on polio eradication, and we did that, and then we succeeded. We should also use technology like big data and social media listening. What's happening in those groups? What's happening in the WhatsApp University? What's happening in the Facebook or other platform? And then designing our strategy with help of evidence-based principles of behavioral science. There is a lot of work is happening in the Western world on behavioral science intervention, and WHO has also created a hub. And then we need trusted sources to amplify our messages. I heard to Dr. Balram Bhargava, to be very honest, I don't know that so much work has been done, but because that has not percolated to everyone. And if it is with me, how you can think about the others? It is good that, there is instead of bureaucrats and politicians, trusted voice, and which is mainly medical professional and scientists and community leaders should be used to amplify the messaging. And I am happy to see Dr. Vinod Paul at Helm of Affair, and Dr. Guleria, Dr. Balram Bhargava, Dr. Arora leading the way. Now, however, this trusted source and information may vary from place to place. It is important to involve those organizations and leaders who are already present in the community and working with them. New organizations, new leaders will not be effective. These are more effective. Then you have to, if we talk about medical professionals, they are not equipped in these skills. So we have to teach them interpersonal skills, and other community leaders, our frontline workers, the skills of interpersonal communication, social media management, and media literacy. And as you know, you can see in the banner, the International Pediatric Association has a vaccine trust course, which covers all these aspects of the communication and advocacy. And we have trained a lot of people from India also. And finally, we need digital literacy at a very mass scale, equipping the public in fact checking and best practices, so they don't forward every message in the WhatsApp and do not become multiplier of misinformation. And a lot of work is being done sensitizing media about the science communication and regarding the importance of providing correct and complete information, because the headline they make is totally different from the content, and we have to tell them how the damage is done. And lastly, making data available. The days are gone when you say I am scientist or I am telling you and you believe it. People want to see data, and that should be available freely in the public domain. Last is rapid review of data related to AEFI and making it available to public with clear messages I am telling you, when I told my nephew that, you are taking this vaccine and there are rare chance, he said, I know, but the risk of COVID is more. So people are willing to take risk if you tell them and what needs to be done. So my final comment is, we need to invest more in communication. No doubt many attempts had been done by government and many organizations and individuals, but that is like a drop in the ocean. We need coordinated, large-scale, behavior science-based approach involving all sectors of the society to make an impact. We have invested a lot in the